Hi there. My name is Josh,
I'm Joel.
and we're going to talk about laser levels today. So hopefully we can help you understand how to use this piece of equipment on your work site. So Joel, what do you use laser levels for?
Laser levels, Josh, are used for surveying and determining different elevations on your work site. You can also use them to determine a rise and slope in a specific area on your work site.
Alright. So how are we going to set this guy up?
So the first thing you want to do with your laser level is you want to check to see if things charge. You unscrew the bottom thread on the bottom of the machine, pop the 4D batteries out.
Not 40, that'd be crazy.
Then replace the bottom back onto the machine with the sensors on the correct location. Thread the screw back on snugly, not too tightly. And then you place it on the tripod. You want to set up your tripod in an area where it is visible for your entire work site, so the laser does not get interrupted and will not be picked up by your sensor here. So you thread the bottom of the laser level onto the tripod.
Alright, so how do we turn this guy on?
Next, you push the on button on top of the panel of the laser level. You'll
Making
see,
some sounds. What's going on with that?
you'll see, Josh, one light flashing on the laser level. The laser level right now is leveling itself automatically.
Wow.
So you'll see the light will stop flashing and will stay constantly on, and you'll see the laser actually rotating 360 degrees and making it visible everywhere on your job site.
That's fantastic.
So once the tripod is set up and the laser level is on top of the tripod, and you can see the laser level throughout your job site, what's the next step, Josh?
Well, you need to find out how high your instrument actually is. So we can use a benchmark elevation to measure all of the elevations within our site. But that doesn't matter if you don't know how high this is in relation to your benchmark elevation. So we're going to use the top of the paint can today, and it's actually a stain can, my deepest apologies. We're going to use the top of the stain can today, and we're going to say that that's 100 meters. Now, it's always good to make sure that you stay as consistent as possible with the units on your job site. We have a surveying rod, that's using centimeters to measure things. And so to find your height of elevation, you take your benchmark, your height of instrument, you take your benchmark elevation, you throw the surveying rod right on top. You make sure it's as level as you possibly can. Lots of surveying rods will have a little level, bubble level in behind. And you take your sensor, you make sure your sensor's on. You gotta hold the button down, beeps to let you know it's on. Turn the volume on sometimes as well. And then you move that up and down, and that sensor is gonna tell when it's gonna beep when it meets the laser level. It's gonna start out by beeping fairly slowly, if it chooses to. Oh, so we're going from the top down, so it's gonna be beeping quickly from here. There we go. If you keep going down, there's a solid beep, and there's a bit of a slower beep after. So the slower beep means you need to move the sensor up a little bit. The faster beep means you need to move it down a little bit. And then the solid line means that you are right on the height. And so when we find the actual number on this, it should just be, or it should be around 10.3, 10.29. Just gotta go down. There we go. And there we go. Anyway, so it should be, so that's going to be your back site. So you then take your benchmark elevation, you add to that your back site number in centimeters, and you're going to get the height of the elevation. And so once you've done that, as long as you don't move the machine, you can take the elevation anywhere. If you move the machine partway through the process, you have to take your benchmark elevation again, or you have to take your backside again from your benchmark elevation, so you can find the height of instrument. once you've found the height of instrument, you're now ready to take the elevations anywhere on your site. And Joel is going to walk us through that a little bit now.
Now to take each specific elevation on your site, you need to calculate your IFS, which is intermediate foresight. To do so, it's the same basic principles as calculating your height of instrument. You take your sensor that is on your rod, turn the sensor on, turn the volume on, point the sensor towards the laser, slide the sensor up and down the rod until you hear the beeping. Now its beeping was, you can see it was beeping too high, so it needs to go down. Slower beeping means too low. And these sensors are very picky. So that flat line you heard was the intermediate foresight. So your intermediate foresight is then, you can then take that measurement and subtract it from your height of instrument, and that will get you your elevation of the specific location on your work site. Now you may have noticed through all these processes of calculating our height of instrument, our IFS and elevation, our backsite and our benchmark, there's tons of different measurements and tons of different information. Josh is going to explain a little bit about where we're going to document these numbers and measurements in a clear and concise way.
All right, thanks, Joel. I'll just trade you here. And, all right, so we have a sheet here. I'll move up so you can see a little bit better. It's field notes. So it's a good idea that you have a new set of field notes for every single project you work on. And you list your project, the date that you do it, and the location. If you're on a big site, this is really important because you need to know the specific part of your site that you're on. Who it's recorded by, so that'd be me and or Joel in this case. If you've got lots of pages, you throw the page number down so that you know it's not two separate measurements, it's all one big set of measurements. If you've got 65 different stations that you're measuring, then you're not going to fit it all on one page. So you put down how many page numbers you are, and you're listing the equipment you're using. Today we're using the laser level. So there's different types of leveling techniques, and so you just got to record which you're using. So the first column in the sheet is going to be the station, and so you're going to take that. You're going to list. So the first one is going to be the benchmark, and so on top of our paint cans are benchmarks. You're going to list the station in the column 1, the back site, which we found in relation to the benchmark, the height of instrument, which you find using the back site and the benchmark. The IFS, which you didn't use for the first one, but we found over here, and you throw that down for all the other stations, and then you find your elevation. So for the back site, it's a predetermined elevation most of the time. So for us, that'd be say 100, and the height of instrument is going to be about 101.4 today. So you're going to use the calculations we discussed and record it all here. That way you've got it in one spot. And if you want to use a program as well to record those things, it's often easier is you could just input it into the calculator. Best on something like an iPad where you can take it out into the field and just work on it right away. And it calculates everything for you. And the last column here is just notes. So if there's an excessive amount of water in a low point, maybe we're building a golf course and you want to make sure that area gets good drainage. You might want to put that down. You just note anything that you need. But that's pretty much the basics of how to use a laser level. It's been a great time talking to you.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Hi there. We're going to talk about laser levels today. My name is Josh, and this is
Joel,
and we're going to talk about laser levels.
today.
I'm from the Department of Redundancy Department.
Explain to you the place you put all your measurements, so you can do calculations, and you can make notes about your locations on your job site. Yeah.
Basically smashed out of the ground. Centimeters. And we calculate, what is that? Sorry. I'm getting tripped up with this stuff. You start it again? Awesome. Alright, so now that we've found the height of the instrument, we're now ready to take the elevations anywhere on site. And Joel is going to walk us through that a little bit.
So to find each specific elevation on your job site, it's called the IFS, or
That's okay.
what's it called?
That's the elevation.
Yeah, the elevation, but
Just,
you need to
just
calculate.
start with,
Or should we put something like you don't want to stare into the laser?
Zach didn't, he was fine.